Hey everybody, Baldoric here. Today we're going to be talking about Linde, since she just got her brand new Resplendent outfit. Everyone's going to be getting a free copy if you have the FE Pass, not Free Pass, what? And we're going to discuss some different ways you can actually build her, use her, whatever you want to do for the different modes of the game. So first off, let's talk about her weapon refining, because it is fairly unique to her, and it is very interesting, because it fits two roles. So, Dark Aura's effect. Grants adjacent allies who use sword, axes, lances, dragonstones, or beast damage attack +6 through their next actions at the start of each turn. And if unit is within 2 spaces of a sword, lance, axe, dragon, or beast ally, grant attack and speed +5 to unit during combat. In other words, at the beginning of your turn, if you are next to a melee ally, right, they get +6 attack. And if you are within 2 spaces of that same ally or other allies of that nature, you get attack and speed +5, basically constantly, as long as you're within 2 spaces of those units. Which makes this extremely good, because it gives her a nice attack and speed buff, and it gives your allies an attack buff as well. So she kind of fits a self-buffing / support role, which is a really interesting thing for her to do. So, it's really powerful. I think it actually has a lot of utility. Let's talk about some different ways you can build her and use her in the different modes. First being Aether Raids. I decided she actually works well with a Vantage build. Now, I do think Summoner support would be well warranted here, but not looking at Summoner support, because I want to show you just her stats even without that are really high. She has a speed stat of 48 and an attack stat of 60, which if you count in the buffs she will most likely be getting from her weapon, 65 attack and 53 speed. Very, very good. Great at doubling and great at securing kills. Now I chose Miracle as her special. However, you could very easily turn this into something like Glimmer, Moonbow, something to that effect, just to make sure that she does secure those kills. The only reason I chose Miracle here is because I've seen with a lot of the testing that I've done with units like this one, Miracle does end up working out pretty good, because after you take 1 and or 2 hits, she doesn't have a huge health pool. So presuming that you are taking those hits from casters because her res stat is so good, it will give her the ability to survive the melee unit that comes in and attacks her if it all plays out correctly. Now, you do not need to roll with Miracle here. You could definitely switch this for Glimmer, Moonbow, or whatever it is you choose. But that's just what I chose because I think it's good for survivability. Now, when she is getting attacked, you also need to factor in Fierce Stance, which is another +6. So her 65 attack actually is 71, and that's still not counting any potential buffs that you could be getting from your team. Now keep in mind, this is light season that I have her on, so that means I am including Peony and Ear on this list. The reason being, because they are the free ones. So most people should have those too, so I think it's the most obvious to put with that. And it works well with her kit anyways, because she wants speed and she wants res, because it helps some of her biggest stats. So, I think she actually works very good with this Vantage build. I think that the only issue she's going to run into is if you're facing a defensive melee heavy team that's going to be hitting defense more than res. But if you're going against a res heavy team, she will do well. Watch out for greens obviously, but she does do really good. That's another reason why I chose her on light season, is because there is Une for dark season, but you don't have like the Thrasiers or something on that Anima season. Now, this is the arena build. So I've opted to go for a plus speed instead of plus attack for arena build, because I think it's more important to make sure she doubles. And this is obviously a player phased geared build. You'll be getting +10 attack and +11 speed if you initiate combat. And if you count in her weapon, that's actually +15 attack and +16 speed. So let's do some math. +15 attack is going to be 73 attack. And +16 speed is... Wait, did I do that right? 73? No, 72 attack? Whatever. So yeah, 72 attack, and it's going to be 63 speed. Really, really high. If joint hone attack is added into that, instead of it being 72, it is actually 77 attack which is honestly phenomenal. And you will get that extra attack because it is normally you have like the buff, what's the word, like height, like you can only go as high as 7. But because this is a during combat ability, her tome that is, it actually means it will stack upon all other abilities that are in combat, like the Swift Sparrows, which is fantastic. So the +5 she gets from Joint Hone Attack will stay and be added on with everything else you're doing. Ruptured Sky is usually my preferred choice here, but combo with Special Spiral is disgusting. Because as soon as you get one Ruptured Sky off, let's say you attack, you get hit, now you have Ruptured Sky ready to go, and with Special Spiral, you'll be hitting any other targets. So if your arena team is using a dancer of any kind, you're basically going to have this every single turn, which is fantastic after you get it unlocked. Now keep in mind, with builds like this, you do actually need to get to the Ruptured Sky, which it's a 2 charge, so that's pretty easy, and after you get that 2 charge, it continues to go off with Special Spiral. Plus, Ruptured Sky does additional damage on dragons, which is always a helpful thing to have, because dragons are pretty common in Arena, so things to keep in mind. But very powerful build, obviously geared towards player phase. There are ways you could easily switch this up to make this a little bit more multi-phase if you so choose, but I personally really enjoy this kind of a player phase build, as long as you have allies that'll back her up and make sure you have some way of protecting her or buffing her to the point where she'll survive, and it works really well. Now, you could also switch Swift Sparrow out here for Close Counter. Close Counter definitely has a lot of utility, especially if you want to make her a mixed phased unit. But if you don't, if you just want to do player phase to make sure you're getting those kills, do something like this, and I think she's going to perform extremely well. Lastly, a budget build. Typically, I just do neutral IVs, but everyone's going to be getting neutral IVs, so if you had one of her before, or if you're going to be pulling for her in a banner in the future for whatever reason, optimal, I would say go for attack or speed, that's fine, but at no merges, I would choose attack just for the optimal damage, and defense is definitely her dump stat or HP. Either one of those doesn't matter, okay? And if you can merge it, even better with the free one you get. That way she doesn't have any negative IVs and you're good on the attack stat. Now, I still ended up actually building a kind of Vantage build, but realistically, this is a mixed phase build, right? So you go in, you attack, Fury's going to go off, which means you're going to lose some HP, which will put her into the Vantage range. So on the enemy phase, when you get attacked, now you don't get the Swift Sparrow, but if you're within 2 spaces, you will get Dark Aura. So she is still going to be going up to the 62 attack stat, and if she took a hit during combat, you should have Moonbow going off as well. And with Vantage, she will be attacking first, presuming that they don't have an ability to block that. Now, Vantage is swappable here if you just want her to be player phase and you want her to be consistently doubling, because even with Swift Sparrow, Swift Sparrow 2, 45 speed isn't the highest. There are definitely units that are going to be able to escape that doubling range. If you don't want to use Vantage and you want to just go for straight player phase, make that Desperation instead and you're going to be fine. Drive speed you don't also need. It can be any of the drives you so choose or any sort of buffing skill whatsoever. I just chose a support slot here because I think speed works well with her. I chose a speed stat as well because you are also giving that +6 attack buff with her weapon. So if you combo that with some speed, you know, if help your units double, help your units do more damage, I think it covers the best of both worlds. I think that works out pretty good. So as a budget unit, still fairly useful, decently high attack stat, fairly high speed stat too, and honestly all round just okay stats, but those two alone kind of make her stand out a little bit as a strong tome user, and with the neutral IVs it actually works out pretty good as well. So strong unit, definitely worth your time investing into if you have multiple copies of her or if you want to invest in her in the future, or you just want to use the Resplendent one just for fun because you like the unit. You can do builds like this and I think it works out pretty good. But that just about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, consider subscribing. I'm going to be putting out more videos just like this for each Resplendent Hero, Grand Hero Battle units, if I can talk. Most of the time that we get a brand new single unit in one way, shape, or form, I'll do a video on it. I decided not to do the videos on like 4 new units because like I feel like everybody does that anyways. I just want to talk about units when they're 1 and I can really get into them, analyze them. Maybe I'll start picking 1 unit from the banner to analyze, like the one that I think is the best or something like that. But comment down below with your thoughts on that. Maybe that's a new series that I can start doing. That being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time.